End of Reddit. What's the main difference you see between the girls who get the guys and the girls who don't? Some guys are dense and you need to be direct. There is no shame in being the one to ask him out. This. Just this. And be as direct as I am with my answer right here. Confidence. And drive. So true. Plus girls who don't act way more separate for attention and interaction. Not being clingy. I really mean it. A girl could be a nice buddy, but she will make the guy uninterested very fast in something serious if she wants to text all the time, even complaining about it, and is jealous of someone she doesn't have. Girls who aren't self-sufficient or ambitious typically don't last. Of course if they were, they would be considered a woman. It works both ways. All girls can get a guy. My 600-pound life has proven that to me. The girls who don't get guys have trouble for varying reasons. I think some of them might believe that everything comes their way eventually. Some of them might believe that being nice is all they have to do, when being nice is not really a personality trait, but I'm convinced the majority just don't put any conscious effort into it because they, like many others, believe that love happens naturally. While the feeling of wanting to belong to someone, wanting to be with someone, wanting to be the one someone longs for, might actually occur at some point and give your stomach the butterfly effect. That's the only thing that's natural, and then it's not guaranteed that this specific thing happens. If you don't approach the person of your interest on your own, there is going to be no progress whatsoever, unless the very slim chance exists that the very person you have a thing for also has a thing for you. This is the side of a guy, but I don't think there's much difference between sexes here. The main issue is being shy and not making a move. If you make nothing happen, you probably lose. Attractiveness. Honestly, what I'm about to say goes for both genders. 80% of life is showing up. Seriously. I'm told that there are several women pining away for me. And yet, only one woman actually took the time to get to know me. The rest would stare longingly or some. It wasn't like I was in a relationship. I wasn't. So show up. Make your flirting non-subtle. I can't speak for other men. To me, it's when there is some depth in her. For instance, talking about her childhood, how she experienced it. It sounds awful when I read it back. But then her body. The girls who do stuff. High cheekbones. Probably around 30 pounds. Fat. Act like a woman. Don't try to be a man. Don't be fat. That is all you need to know. These observations are for both men and women. I've seen the following in both who are unsuccessful. I use the general you here, just not putting yourself in a position to meet anyone. I'm super introverted, so I get it. But if your whole life is sleep, work, gym, TV, sleep, you're not going to get anywhere not taking care of yourself. Bad hygiene, sloppy appearance, etc. Wanting qualities in a partner that you yourself cannot match. Like wanting an ambitious doctor when you're lazy and underemployed. Wanting a sexy, fit person when you are obese. Being desperate. Every date you do get, you pin all your hopes and dreams upon them. You stifle down your personality in an attempt to get in, so you become clingy and or move too fast, scaring them away, sort of like above, having ownitis. Fixating on maybe a person in your friend group, or an acquaintance, and becoming obsessed with them. Leads to fruitless unrequited crushes. I suspect people who do this a lot are scared of intimacy and use their crushes as a way to avoid real relationships, anger or entitlement issues. Basically taking rejection terribly. Rejection sucks, but resist sending that DM calling someone a or an asshole if they won't go out with you. You're only confirming their decision to reject you as the correct one, becoming angry at your preferred gender and painting them all with the same brush. After a run of bad luck, it's easy to be like, men are pigs or women are shallow. But this bitterness is unfair and holding you back. I would say, all too often, basic hygiene is a very big difference between the two groups. Self-care is so important, and I for one am not ever going to be romantically interested in a man I may be forced to mother to get him to groom himself. I know a guy who is extremely handsome from most people's perspective. The tall athletic type. But he gets rejected because he just flat out stinks. He smells awful and nobody wants to be around him for too long. Dang. If you're at the level of friendship where you can suggest it, have him cut out likely dietary causes. I had a friend who started drinking kefir and immediately started smelling like several dead cows stacked in a pile. We had an anti-kefir intervention and he's gone back to smelling like a regular man. I would rather continue drinking kefir and lose all my friends. I live for that. What's kefir? I'm single. I can afford to stink for a while. Fermented milk rich in probiotics, like 6 times the amount as yogurt. Picture a kinda sour drinkable yogurt. That's kefir. Well, that sure sounds delicious and totally worth losing friends over. Haven't seen it yet, so only talking to women when they have romantic intentions goals already set. I see a bunch of dudes fail because they only talk to a select few girls with a specific end goal in mind. So often they fail to learn anything about the person and focus on selling themselves and jumping straight into bed. Just relax. If you talk to 10 girls like normal human beings, you might find a spark with one of them, but if you limit yourself to the few girls you imagined a spark with, you'll be much less successful. It's okay to approach a girl you find attractive, but that shouldn't be the only time you talk to girls, or whatever group you're interested in. I know people who pretty much met people through other friends. If you have a healthy mix of male and female friends, you're more likely to meet someone that way. It is a worry for women to end up with an abusive person, so having good attitude around other women is a good safety sign. Any date who gets jealous of your friends who are women isn't worth dating either. My wife was a friend of my roommate's girlfriend. I happened to see a picture of her and went nuts, asking for a blind date. Worked out okay. That's so sweet. Once you get out of school into the working world, I notice a big divide between people who do things outside of work and people who don't, men and women included. So many people, I've been guilty myself, just let themselves become very boring. People who find someone find them doing an activity, hobby, whatever. You have to put yourself in a position to meet a like-minded person, which means if all you do is go to work, go to the gym and not talk to anyone, and play men's beer league sports, you are not going to meet many eligible women. Also, let your freak flag fly. If you love gaming or Game of Thrones or sock puppets, don't hide it when looking for a partner. Trying to be cool or normal comes off boring. Look for events where you'll meet other people who love the same thing. And online dating is a great way to meet people. So many people still think it's for losers. Nope, being single when you want to have someone and doing nothing about it because you're too cool is for losers. OMG this. So many boring people out there. My favorite thing to ask people when out at bars meeting new people is to ask what they do for fun. Can get a big look into their world by what they do for fun. Not trying to argue, but that might be the wrong question to ask. I love photography and I can bore you to death talking about it. But that's not what I would answer if you ask me what I do for fun. What would come to mind is something that I do to unwind when I'm stressed out, which is watch movies and even read it and do nothing all day. Photography is so taxing. The planning, the actually going out and walking miles and miles, the editing. I don't see it as fun. I do love it immensely though. Successful guys are comfortable being their own person and actively willing to listen and interact with girls as individuals as well. No generalizations. Girls are not puzzles to be solved. I feel like the best friendships and relationships I've had are with guys that were simply willing to share their own thoughts and listen to mine in return. Oh god, so much this. If you're asking what do women want or what do women like, or women love this look music activity, don't they, then you're already on the wrong foot. Find out what the particular individual woman you are currently talking to likes, wants. There is nothing less sexy than being told what music you like by a guy you've just met, based on his stereotypes of the half of the population that share the same genitalia as you. Especially if you've already told him what you like and he didn't even listen, because he already knows, because he's seen women dancing in clubs so he knows what music women are into. Just using music as an example of something someone has said to me, but it works for literally anything. And more importantly, if you find out a woman likes only music activities you actively don't like, that isn't a sign you need to change your whole personality to match that person. It means give those a shot if you'd like, but if you still don't like them, you two might just not be a match, no matter how hot she is. It's also not a sign to try and change her. By all means introduce her to things you like to see if she likes them. That's always nice. But if it's unsuccessful and you feel like you can't be intimate with someone who's into music activities that you actively despise and look down on a person for, then it's not meant to be.